Before the sun, before the moon, before the first age has a battlefield to stand on, Tolkien gives the West two living lights, neither stars nor lamps, but trees alive with ordered light. Telperion and Laurelin rise in Valinor, one silver and one gold, and the whole later history bends around them. The Silmarils will preserve their light, Melkor will desire it, Yavanna will bind himself to what he has made from it, and the Noldor will follow the wound across the sea. Keep the order in view. First Yavanna sings the trees into life, then silver and gold begin to measure time, then their dew and rain are gathered into vessels, then Telperion's light crosses the mountains as stars. The story begins quietly with light before possession. Theft, oath, exile and battle have not yet entered the room. The light first has a source, a rhythm and a memory. There is a manuscript seam here. The earliest tales make the light more physically liquid, with cauldrons and older timings. The late version followed here gives Telperion first place and measures the trees in 7-hour cycles. The first question is simple enough. What did the world look like when light grew on branches? The trees do not appear in an untouched world, they come after loss. Melkor has cast down the great lamps, the spring of Arda has ended, and the first symmetry of the world is broken. The Valar cannot simply restore what was ruined, because the earth itself has been shaken, and the children of Iluvatar have not yet appeared. So the powers remove from Middle-earth to Armen, the westernmost land. Since Melkor remains in Middle-earth and cannot yet be overthrown without greater ruin, they fortify their dwelling. Along the eastern shores of Armen they raise the Pelori, the mountains of Armen, and behind that wall Valinor takes shape. It is beautiful, but it is also guarded. The first visual truth of Valinor is that its peace has a boundary. Behind the Pelori, the Valar gather light and fair things saved from the ruin. The source does not treat Valinor as a decorative paradise. It is a work of recovery. It is what the powers can still preserve after the lamps fall. When the realm is full wrought, they build Valma in the plain beyond the mountains. The city has bells, gates, and the stillness of a place that has not yet learned distrust. Before its western gate stands a green mound, Ezeloha, also called Corollare. Everything narrows to that mound. No army is present, no forge, no throne contest, only grass, silence, and the preparation of growth. Yavanna hallows the mound and sits there long upon the grass. Her song is not a performance for spectacle. It carries all her thought of things that grow in the earth, root, stem, sap, leaf, flower, seed, and the patient labor by which living things become themselves. Nienna does not add brightness but grief, watering the mound with tears, and the origin of the trees is therefore not light alone. It is life sung into being with sorrow already present at the root. The Valar gather in the Mahanaxar, the Ring of Doom, near the golden gates of Valma. They sit silent while Yavanna sings. The scene is spare. Seated powers, one voice, golden gates nearby, and no need for gesture beyond listening. Then the world falls into a quiet deep enough for Yavanna's chanting to be the only named sound. The first light of Valinor is not seized. It is awaited inside that silence. Two slender shoots come forth upon the mound. Under the song, the saplings grow, become tall and flower. Thus the two trees awaken in the world. By then, Valinor has not gained an object. It has gained a rhythm by which the blessed realm will understand day. Telperion is the elder, with leaves dark green above and silver beneath, so even the underside of the leaf belongs to light. His flowers release silver dew, and the ground below him is patterned by moving shadow. Telperion is cool, but not dead, pale, but not weak. He is the first dawn of Armen. Laurelin answers with warmth, young green leaves edged in gold, and flowers hanging in clusters of yellow flame. From those flowers come warmth and great light. The contrast is exact. Telperion falls as silver dew, Laurelin spills as golden rain. The two trees are not a single light tinted two ways. They are two presences whose union makes the time of Valinor. The light is already entering memory. Telperion is also Silpian and Ninquilote, with other names in song. Laurelin is also Malinalda, and Laurelin. The names do not decorate the trees. They show that the trees become part of language as soon as they become part of sight. Each tree waxes to full glory and wanes again over 7 hours, and the story stops being only botanical and becomes cosmological. Light now has measure, pattern, and return. Each tree wakes again 1 hour before the other ceases. Valinor is never forced into a hard switch from day to night. It breathes between silver and gold. Twice each day there is a softer hour when both lights are faint and their beams mingle. That hour is one of the great visual gifts of the mythology, not compromise, not blur, but a shared radiance where difference remains visible. Telperion comes first to full stature and bloom, and the first silver dawn receives a name, the opening hour. The Valar do not count it into the ordinary tale of hours, they count from it. The Day of Armen contains 12 hours and ends with the second mingling of the lights, when Laurelin wanes and Telperion waxes. The count of time begins with the trees because the trees are not merely shining in time, they are making time legible. The spilled light does not vanish at once. It endures before the airs take it or the earth receives it. Varda gathers the dews of Telperion and the rain of Laurelin in great vats. The source gives the phrase, wells of water and light, a line that arrives already visible, almost fluid, almost agricultural, almost liturgical. The older manuscript tradition enters here. The lost tales push the liquid light image further, with cauldrons and stronger physical mechanics. The later text keeps the strangeness but compresses it. Light can be gathered, kept, and used, but it remains more than a substance. By then, the trees have done 3 things at once. They have lit Valinor, measured time, and made light preservable. While Valinor shines behind the Pelori, Middle-earth remains in twilight beneath the stars. That contrast will shape almost everything that follows. The Blessed Realm has tree light, while the outer lands have memory of older starlight, darkness, and Melka moving in hidden places. Yavanna and Orome still turn their attention eastward. Yavanna grieves for the growth checked by darkness, and Orome hunts under the stars. Eastern darkness stays in view because the trees are not the light of all ardor. They are the light of Valinor. In the Annals of Armen, Yavanna speaks before the Valar and says that the coming of the children of Iluvatar is drawing near. She asks that light be given to Middle-earth for their comfort and for resistance against Melka. Mandos answers that the elder children will not first see the trees. They will come in darkness and look first upon the stars. That decision makes elvish love for Varda, and the stars feel less like ornament and more like biography. Their first sight will be starlight. Then Varda looks out from Taniquetil upon the darkness of the earth beneath faint and distant stars. The source calls the labor that follows one of the greatest works of the Valar after they entered Arda. She takes light that issued from Telperion and was stored in Valinor. With it she makes stars newer and brighter. The trees, therefore, do not remain confined to the guarded land. Their silver light crosses the mountains in another form, lifted into heaven before the elves awaken. Among the signs Varda sets in the heavens is Menelmacha, the swordsman of the sky, a sign that points far ahead toward Taurin and the last battle. The mythology is already doing what it always does, folding remote endings into the first lighting of the world. Last of all, she sets the Valakirka in the north, the sickle of the gods, as a threat to Utumno and a token of Melka's doom. The stars are beautiful, but in this passage they are also a warning. Under those stars, the Quendi awaken by the waters of awakening. They do not wake under Laurelin's gold or Telperion's silver dew. They wake under the sky Varda has remade. The early versions remember the light with a stronger physical imagination. Liquid, poured, stored, handled through cauldrons. That older pressure is still useful for painting, so long as it does not overwrite the late chronology. The late form is more restrained and more powerful here. Light becomes time in Valinor, stars over Middle-earth, and memory in what will soon be made. Later, before the piece of Valinor is poisoned beyond repair, Feanna reaches the fullness of his craft, and turns one question over in secrecy. How might the light of the trees be preserved imperishably? The question is beautiful and dangerous, because many disasters in Tolkien begin as a wish to keep something lovely from loss. He makes 3 jewels, the Silmarils. Their inner fire is blended from the light of Telperion and Laurelin. The trees are not background to the Silmarils, they are what the Silmarils hold. Varda hallows them, and Mandos foretells that the fates of Arda lie locked within them. The First Age can turn on the Silmarils without making them mere treasure. They hold the light by which the world first learned time. The page turns before Ungoliant, before Formenos, before the Oath. For now, the trees are still alive, and the light is still being gathered. The next page is where preservation becomes possession, and possession learns how to swear.